It has to fucking stop.
Then it stops when the government lifts the mandates.
You fucking idiot! The mandates are provincial, not federal! The mandates, if you're mad about wearing a mask or getting a fucking vaccine, go talk to Doug Ford!
Okay, well, you know what?
The fucking Prime Minister has nothing to do with
Actually, he does.
Do you know anything about civics?
Yes, I do, because didn't the federal government make vaccine mandates for all federal employees?
No,
and all federal...
It's a requirement for your fucking job!
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the mandate, man.
We are definitely striking some nerves. Is that Neil Young by any chance? Probably his booster just kicked in. You know what is interesting? That with his own words, he destroyed himself, and he's completely oblivious to it. That moment he refuted his own argument is priceless. But he doesn't know what he did. And you know what? That is exactly the kind of common sense that liberals have nowadays. Unbelievable. They scream their brains out nearly dying, don't make any sense in what they say, have lost complete sense of logic and reason, but at any price, they want to force everyone into their madness. Just like this guy. By the way, I like how the guy in the truck is having the time of his life. Who wouldn't? The truth is that they're losing their minds because they know they were lied to. But it will be too painful for them to admit it. So instead, they just go on trying to censor everyone else who won't comply. I believe that censorship is the real disease here. It is getting out of hand. And people like this guy is spreading it. They are the perfect candidates to be Dr. Fauci's lab rats. For liberals, censorship has become a false promise of social wealth at the cost of personal liberty. And now freedom for them, it's a blind obedience to the will of the dictator. Looks like liberals just can't get enough of slavery, can they? They enslaved themselves to the tyrannical and incompetent government, and now they want everyone else to drink their Kool-Aid. Joe Rogan and Spotify are the latest example of that, which, by the way, I believe that Joe Rogan's response was very classy and civilized. But he made a huge mistake.
The problem I have with the term misinformation, especially today, is that many of the things that we thought of as misinformation just a short while ago are now accepted as fact. Like, for instance, 8 months ago, if you said, if you get vaccinated, you can still catch COVID and you can still spread COVID, you would be removed from social media. They would ban you from certain platforms. Now, that's accepted as fact. If you said, I don't think cloth masks work, you would be banned from social media. Now, that's openly and repeatedly stated on CNN. I am going to do my best in the future to balance things out. I'm going to do my best. But my point of doing this is always just to create interesting conversations and ones that I hope people enjoy. So if I pissed you off, I'm sorry. And if you enjoy the podcast, thank you. Thank you very much.
See, the problem with Joe Rogan is that he's never defined himself politically speaking. He always likes to flirt with both sides under a false ideal of unity. And that is his Achilles heel. Because when things get tough for him, like it just did, he just doesn't know how to handle the left. At all. He responded explaining his position with logic and facts, which liberals are impaired to understand. And then he apologizes to them. Biggest mistake of his career, he just opened the door for them to skin him alive. You just don't apologize to crazy liberals, especially if you didn't do anything wrong. Liberals aren't going mad because he said something wrong. Liberals are going mad because that's the effect of the poison they've been drinking. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but you just don't apologize to communist liberals and their tyrannical agendas. You crush them. You step on them. You destroy them. Because if you don't, then they will. Under the current state of affairs, there is not such a thing as middle ground for unity, tolerance of different views, whatever. We are way past that. If we don't destroy liberalism and fight back forcefully, liberalism will destroy America. So far, the list of people trying to get rid of Joe Rogan and Spotify keeps increasing by the minute. The royals, the Biden administration, and every single unpopular artist you can think of that is looking to get known at the cost of someone else's freedom. They won't stop with reason or apologies. We have to fight back. Censorship is nothing but liberals' poison, and liberalism is nothing but concealed, godless communism under the name of progressiveness. There is nothing progressive about that. As we can see now, there is nothing more anti-American than liberals' ideals. The main goal of their censorship agenda is to squeeze out the American identity, the identity of the American people, so they dare not to think for themselves. Just like what they did with Democrats. They are the perfect example of that. Censorship is the crucifixion of truth. Censorship and false accusations of misinformation crucify Jesus Christ. Liberals are not interested in the truth, in goodness, in apologies. Liberals went with Barabbas over Christ. That should tell us everything. Wokeness is how to choose a Luther over Jesus Christ and nail justice to a tree. I mean, it is clear. Joe Rogan, you don't apologize to radical liberals. You crush them. You break them. You don't reason with them because reasoning with them is what got you into this misinformation nonsense. You fight back because at the end of the day, all those idiots supporting censorship agendas are nothing but lobotomized slaves of the state. They don't longer think for themselves. I mean, that's clear. We fight back with the truth. Our conscience follows God's laws, not the will of the dictator. And no matter what, we do not fall for the false promise of social wealth at the cost of liberty. Liberty does not consist in the irrational and capricious mandates and regulations of those in power. As a matter of fact, that is quite criminal. Liberty consists in following the truth. We stand by the truth. For only the truth will make us free.